Broadcasting live from Gaborone, this is your BTV News at 3 p.m. My name is Kaelo Sabone and I'm with Amandla Wabili on Sign Language. In the headlines, President Masisi back home from Germany. While Okavango Trading Company registers a 12% increase on revenue sales. And Botswana loses out on hosting AFCON 2027. Dumelang. Now, the President, Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, is back home after concluding his 3-day working visit to Munich, Germany. While in Germany, President Masisi attended the Beats and Pretzels Founders Conference and several official engagements. President Masisi and his delegation shared insights on Botswana's transformation agenda, investment climate, and enhanced use of technology and innovation. Prior to his trip, the President had numerous official engagements in Australia, the Bahamas, Cuba, and New York. Now, the Ministry of Transport and Public Works has assembled a team of development managers who are experts in various fields whose mandate is to fully monitor the implementation of government infrastructure projects across the country. These experts include architects, quantity surveyors, to mention but a few, and they will help ensure projects are completed within time and budget. This was highlighted yesterday by the Minister for Transport and Public Works, Eric Mulale, at the appreciation ceremony of those development managers in Gaborone. Mujadi Mukibelo.
The government of Botswana is fully committed to implementing strategic reforms that put citizen economic inclusion at the center of this country's economic development initiatives. Through that, it engaged some of the development managers who will coordinate and speed the implementation of various infrastructure projects across the country, with Yam Botswana assuming this lucrative position.
Most of you seem to be, as I look at you and judge, you are very young. And to me, that is a plus. That is a plus to you, the evaluation team, even though you are not looking at age of the owners of these companies. But I think it will help to transition the thought processes of how we've been doing things who are on the exit, so that it transforms such that we see new methods, new ways, and be able to accommodate more innovative ideas.
The development managers have shown readiness to execute the mission they have been assigned without fail.
We have met various ministries to get details regarding their projects, their status and the requirements they have. We also met possible companies that we may work together on these projects.
And some of the projects that will be intrinsic with AI is the design and construction of the stormwater of Francistown to make sure that there is proper flow of surface water, and also the design and construction of the special support group.
We also have a lot of projects which are aligned to the Ministry of Environment and Tourism, where the intention is to redevelop Kasane into a regional tourism hub, and separate some of, or rather take some of the land which is prime and riverfront properties that government currently owns and give it to the tourism activities.
The National Planning Committee has vowed to assure high quality and high standards throughout the project's implementation process.
On behalf of my colleagues, we are ready, and I believe we'll be agile enough to respond whenever we have to work with you. And we also look forward to collaborate with you to make sure that we deliver our project successfully.
The engagement of development managers will ensure that all government projects are up to standard and completed within time and budget. Mujadi Mukibelo, BTV News, Gaborone.
The Okavango Diamond Company is said to be on track to becoming a leader in diamond sales if its recent revenue sales are anything to go by, as they increased by 12% from last year. And given the company's financial update at a press briefing on Monday, the managing director of Okavango Diamond Company, Remme Tamasire, says the company made a record sale of 182 million pula in February 2022, which gave the company a positive boost. Terry Mahoe.
Okavango Diamond Company dreams of becoming a world leader in the selling and marketing of natural diamonds. Since its establishment in 2012, the company has been doing well in terms of sales, growing gradually. Unfortunately, with the advent of COVID-19 in 2020, there was a decline in sales, which led to 4 auctions in that year being cancelled. However, in February 2022, a record of $182 million sales was reached.
Right now, the market peaked in February 22. That's when we had our record sale. But immediately after that sale, we saw a rapid fall in the prices. By the end of 2022 last year, profitable sales were becoming a challenge. We were sort of operating close to break-even, single digits numbers in terms of margins. So that was truly an indication, having been in double digits for most of the other 2 years.
Okavango Diamond Company has a market locally, but also has most of its sales in Israel and Belgium.
A larger portion of 57% of our revenues are driven by customers out of United Arab Emirates. Almost 80% of that 57 is Indian customers. And as I explained to you, because of the equalization levy, a lot of our customers are using subsidiaries based out of UAE. Belgium is another market that drives our sales, and Israel.
Currently, the ODC is going through some operational changes, and it will be introducing contracts and strategic channels like the 3P3E, so as to not rely on auctions only.
Look at ODC in terms of the channels. First of all, with the volume of diamonds that we are currently handling, and those that we'll be handling after the negotiations are completed and our allocation is adjusted. We have decided to not rely only on auctions for 2 reasons. First of all, our auctions are too big, and to be profitable with a big auction, it erodes itself. Second of all, different selling methods respond differently to different market conditions.
With plans for expansion at an advanced stage, the company will also be moving to a new head office, which they are currently building, which will have more exhibition space for products, which will also accommodate more customers at a given time. Terry Makoeng, BTV News, Gaborone.
Now, the Minister for Health, Dr. Edwin Tukoroti, says government is committed to resolving challenges witnessed in the supply chains of health commodities. Dr. Tukoroti said this on officially launching the 2028 National Supply Chain Strategy for Health Commodities in Gaborone. He said the strategy will, amongst others, smoothen an effective procurement of medical supplies, as well as ensuring the availability of medicines across health facilities countrywide. Monica Setwaila.
Botswana has been experiencing challenges around the procurement and distribution of medical supplies and health commodities due to the COVID-19 pandemic and dynamic global markets. This then resulted in a shortage of medical supplies countrywide. Through this strategy, government seeks to resolve deficiencies that affect the national supply chains for a sustainable and robust health system.
The National Supply Chain Strategy designed to provide strategic direction in procurement and management of health commodities. The strategy sets a common vision for supply chain and proposes policies and interventions that address systemic challenges. The strategy also defines a set activities required to optimize supply chain over time, including coordination of stakeholders and their roles.
The United States government, which remains a critical partner to the country's health sector through its agencies such as USAID, pledged more support towards improving the sector.
The United States, through PEPFAR, working with USAID and its implementing partner, the Global Health Supply Chain procurement and supply management, has been a strategic partner with the Ministry of Health and the central medical stores, that's CMS, to strengthen the supply chain system since 2016. So almost a decade now.
Monitoring and evaluation framework was developed to facilitate resourcing of the strategy, implementation, and supply chain performance monitoring. The monitoring and evaluation framework adopts a theory of change model describing what the strategy wishes to achieve, the expected goal, and the subsequent impact.
The goal of the supply chain, the strategy was actually to ensure national health commodity security. Security not meaning the physical security, but basically that people will get the product when they need them. Those patients, they're outside. They must get the commodities they need at the right time.
For best results, stakeholders were urged to optimize the national supply chain strategy for health commodities. Monica Soswaila, BTV News, Gaborone.
Now, Botswana is hosting a 3-day 8th All-Africa Conference on Animal Agriculture. When officially opening the event, the Minister for Agriculture, Refidelis Molao, said the agricultural sector needs professionals with appropriate training so they can apply their knowledge to come up with practical solutions to agricultural problems.
The agricultural sector continues to make significant contribution to the economies of different African countries, but over the years it has had to deal with emerging challenges such as climate change and outbreaks of livestock diseases. This has kept experts on their toes as they have to find innovative ways to ensure sustenance of this sector.
As Africans, we cannot continue ignoring adaptation of new technologies because we need to build strategic collaborations that are aimed at enhancing resilience and improving agricultural productivity. Research and development talks to work directed towards the innovation, introduction, and improvement of products and processes which can change lives.
Botswana continues to invest in the livestock industry with emphasis to increasing the national herd.
The government is working towards upgrading our Ramatlawama National Artificial Insemination Laboratory, which is earmarked to be a center of excellence and the hub for processing quality germplasm products, as in semen and embryos, through the use of technologies, and the government is striving to increase the quality and also our national herd.
Experts are of the view that amidst challenges faced by this sector, there are a number of opportunities that can still be tapped on.
I'm not considering climate change and the associated crisis as a challenge only. For Africa, I believe it's an opportunity too. But we need to think deep and differently. We need to change the way we think about climate change.
Lack of clear, comprehensive, and systemic African-driven veterinary education, science, technology, innovation, and medicine curriculum programs, which speak into the current and anticipated future of the continent, is a major challenge and problem. We are not giving our youth the relevant skills to address the issues that are in our era.
Research has been identified as a key element in growing the agricultural sector. The African Development Bank, nonetheless, recently reported that most African countries are underfunding research by spending only 0.42% of their GDP against a global average spending of 1.7% of the GDP. African states have therefore been called upon to increase their spending on agricultural sector for the industry to maintain its position as one of the biggest contributors to economic growth. Khobuletse Mang, Boitshwarelo, BTV News, Gaborone.
Umbrella Ward Development Committee in Jwaneng Town has received donations from local company Rinjex joint venture following the completion of a newly built youth business office. The non-profit making committee received donations in the form of office equipment such as chairs, tables, a laptop as well as air conditioners. Kisogofetse Makwinja and Tato Ranna.
This donation comes after the town's development committee lamented over the lack of office equipment, pleading for assistance. The committee put together funds to build these offices after identifying the dire need for office space amongst youth businesses.
mme go pheletsong ya teng madi ao a boele go beng ba one ka lebaka la gore batho bao ba bo ba thokile mo go teng office accommodation mme re ne ra thulanya dithogore le dikomiti tsone tse 7 ra ga di-office tse le di bonang tse dintetse ke ka mo company ya Rinjex joint venture e ne nyata go araba selelo sa rona.
We understand that community development is a shared journey, and we are committed to playing our part in supporting your endeavors. The donation today it's more than just a gesture. It represents our commitment to fostering progress and empowerment.
The donations were highly appreciated as they contribute to cultivating and promoting sustainable, growth-orientated youth enterprises.
Umbrella Ward Development Committee wa betsi chaba ya Jwaneng ga gona epe khaolwana yo sa yama yano ke sere se lebogelang thata komiti tse ke gone ha re tlhagolelang tsela teng mo go sepe se re batlang sa go setšhabeng.
The official opening of the newly built youth offices is expected during the month of October. Tato Ranna, BTV News, Jwaneng.
Mindset Change Secretariat Communications lead Methato Ntite says the campaign to change mindset, thoughts and behavior calls for every citizen to take pride in what this country has to offer. She says fellow citizens have to take pride in buying locally produced goods and services. Ntite says the nation's vision of attaining a high income status can only become a reality if Botswana actively participate in the economy by first choosing their own local produce before seeking alternatives. Angela Enosa.
The main message behind the mindset change agenda is change of behavior, mentalities, outlook, attitudes, with emphasis on building a resilient nation which is passionate about driving the country's transformational agenda towards the year 2036. Botswana are implored to not just be spectators, but play an active role in the economy, doing that through proudly embracing and procuring local goods and services in large numbers.
Mme dilo tsa rona le rona di na le boleng and a gona ope o ka tswang ko ntle a tla go tlotlomatsa se leng sa rona ha e se rona mo gae ke tsone dilo tse tautona a rotloetsang gore a re lebelele ha re leng teng re tlotlomatse le rona re dire re age itsholelo ya rona ka bo rona mmua gantsi o supa gore o ka ntsha dilo tse dintsi a re ska ra re dinao ga di ka ke tsa tswa a re ska ra re mmidi ga o ka ke wa tswa a re ska ra re eng ga se ka ke sa tswa. Let's wake up, arise and shine. Re leme dinawa, re leme mmidi, re leme ditapole, re leme sengwe le sengwe, re leme all the vegetables that we can think about. A re di leme mmua gantsi o supile gore o siame a tšhentšheng hetola maikutlo segolo jang ka gore ke wana ga o ka itšhentšhang. Change starts from within.
Remain flexible, re kgone go adapt to wherever environment to dikgwetlho dipe tsotlhe hela tse di ka tswang di re face. It's mindset change. And ha o tla o hopelwa, ha o tla o imelwa ke dikakanyo ke mathata le dikgwetlho tsa botshelo, o ska wa tshaba go kopana le ba ba thusang ka mental health kana mongwe hela yo ka tswang o phutulugile go bua le ene o kopa thuso, because journey ya mindset change is also mentally related. It depends on your mental strength.
Mindset change also means delving deep into areas where one resides and exploring opportunities.
It is never too late to make a difference if you have a passion for something, and if you are willing to work hard, you can achieve great things. I'm a living proof of that. All it takes is a mindset change. Think positively, go out and make your own mark in the world. Archenje.
The Mindset campaign train took off from Zuchai village in July and has left its trail in other areas in the country, the next stop being Kang and Janeng. Angela Nosa, BTV News, Hansi.
Now, 5 men of Dimajo village aged between 40 and 70 have been nabbed by police carrying out an operation Khomukumo and were found in possession of 7 cattle suspected to be stolen. Kumiso Mapanyane.
Botswana Police spokesperson Assistant Commissioner Mutube says the initial number of the cattle the 5 suspects had stolen has gone down, as they had already slaughtered some at the time they were apprehended.
Jaka ki bua ke re gompieno re mo motseng wa Dimaje go a lebega ditsogo tsewa go lo gongwe gate lubu kana lebu ke masimo kana meraka mo kgaolong ya go jwane jaanong bothata bo boleng teng majwa bogodu jwa leruo mo kgaolong bo a tswelela, mme se re se lemogileng ke gore batho ba inakantsha thata le go utswa leruo, ba bangwe ke ba batsa leruo le gore ba go le rua go le godisa ko morago ba le rekise, mme ba bangwe ke ba eleng gore ba ruela gore ba leruo le go lekana le tote ba kgona gore ba go rekisetse jalo bora di butchara le bo mmasapei.
Cattle rustlers have engaged many tactics to fool cattle owners, sometimes going to the extent of changing the cattle colors, using some detergents, as well as using many cattle brands that they fail to account for.
Me se leng ra se bona gape mo dikgomong tse ke ga o di lebeletso ka ithaora ga di a tsoga di tlhakatlhakane boboa, mme fa a re lebelela ka leitlho la rona la botlhotlhomisi go a supala gore mongwe o tshwanetse ba tsile ka sengwe se se bogale metsi mangwe a bogale kana logo kana sota a feta a tshela mo letlalong la dikgomotse. Gantsi magodu a leruo ba dira jalo ga ba batla go change kana ba batla go fetola selebego sa kgomo ya gago, ke gore ga ba sena gona ba etsa mo go wena ka bofefo jo bo kgonagalang ba go leka gore ba senye matshwao ga ile gore ba santse ba batla go irua, ba go senya matshwao a ditsebe. Fa ile gore kgomo e na le dinaka ba go kgaola dinaka tse gore go tlelele kgomo ga ile gore ne le kgomo e dinaka wena monga yone e re fa o e lebella o bo re nya kgomo e ga ne na le dinaka nka be ke re gongwe ke yame.
The 5 accused persons have since appeared before Dimajo Customary Court to face a single count of stock theft.
Now, Senior Veterinary Officer at the Department of Veterinary Services in Tsabong, Dr. Masego Matlare, says nurturing cats and dogs prevents the birth of unwanted puppies and kittens. According to Dr. Matlare, the uncontrolled population increases the risk of spreading rabies and other diseases. The Tsabong Veterinary Office was recently neutering and spraying cats and dogs in preparation of the World Rabies Day, which will be held in Tsabong on Thursday.
Rabies is a fatal disease which, if not treated on time, can claim lives of animals and human beings. Hence, the Global Alliance of Rabies has set aside a day once a year to spread awareness about the disease. Since the village of Sabong will be the host of this year's World Rabies Day, the Department of Veterinary Office neutered cats and dogs free of charge to build momentum towards the commemoration. Neutering cats and dogs is done to control their population, and if there are many stray cats around, report to the bylaw office and they will notify us. Pet owners are advised to ensure that their cats and dogs are not left to roam the streets. I brought my female dog because I have many puppies at home already. I cannot afford to keep more.
They don't
take care of my dog in my absence, hence it roams around when I'm not home. The public is reminded to ensure that cats and dogs 3 months and above are vaccinated against rabies, as that will prevent them from acquiring the disease and transmitting it to people and other animals. BTV News at Sabong.
And that's how we end our bulletin at this hour. Thank you for watching. Sports is up next with Tato Khosimor.
Thank you, Kailo Sabwane. This is In Context, the sports update. I'm Tato Khosimor. Thank you for joining us. The Mets are one step closer to qualify for AFCON 2024 after demolishing Gabon 6-0 yesterday at Lobatse Air Sports Complex to make it a 10-1 victory in aggregate. The goals came through Lesego Radiakanyo, Haunya Diwi, Ontlametses Brace, and Nancy Baeleti, and Kitmetse Ditebe in the first half of the match, before Lone Haifetore closed down the score sheet in the last half of the game. Botswana will now face Kenya, who won against the Cameroon through penalty shootout. Let's take a look at the highlights.
The second round
Paya Tanyalele Toa Lesero Lash Radiakanyo Kemuraja Loa Kirkene the CPU ya the Mets Kankaro Swabisa Bikile Biki Haunya Diwi Muniswan not a pedico Gabon Abaya Tanyalele Toa Muniswan not a pedica Gabon Boaga Paipueleta Seboa Boani Pela Moraga Mitsele maybe the Bakonagobana Nengo Capet the Mets.
We put our whole could you go making what I did.
Paya Tanyalele Toa Yaboraroya Motsamiko.
Le Talohanyo, they were on Wiki Sakati, Lesh Radiakan.
Nancy Baileta Motsamiko Moraho.
Meholebella have the mess on the other hand.
Jacabahorga the Mesa di Tebe, Abaro Mela Pele. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tolakene. Arawanelone onside the Mets Yaborataro Abdazen Lone Hafetore.
Moving on, CAF Executive Committee this afternoon announced that joint bid of Tanzania, Kenya and Uganda will get to host the AFCON 2027. Botswana, who earlier combined their efforts with Zambia, lost bid to host the 2027 bid to three joint bid of Tanzania, Kenya and Uganda, which was announced by CAF President Motsepe at a meeting in Cairo. Egypt, still in the CAF meeting, Morocco was given the right to host the 2025 AFCON tournament as they were unopposed after Zambia pulled out on joining Botswana's 2027 bid. Botswana was also competing against the Senegal joint bid of Nigeria and Benin and Algeria, who dramatically pulled out last night.
The requirements that we are placing on these countries, both in terms of freedom of movement of people in and out of the countries, and the support, the infrastructure, the cooperation, and we will be sending teams on an ongoing basis to form an evaluation of the progress that's been made. But because the key is we are absolutely determined to maintain the highest possible standards for African football.
Difference is huge compared to a single bid. First, look at the population, 300 million people. But look at the infrastructures. Right now we have already made 6 stadiums, and we are going to add number to 10 in a very near future. The infrastructure, airline transportation, road transportation, water transportation, tourism attraction. But above all, is the fact that the 3 countries have never hosted an AFCON since its inception, 1957. Therefore, this was our time, this was it, for the sake of equity, for the sake of fairness, but also for the sake of readiness.
And lastly, the last 2 remaining local players at the ongoing J60 tennis tournament, Katlego Rogoeng and Simolefe, bowed out this afternoon as they lost in the last round of 16. Rogoeng went down to seed Nicolas Robé of France, while Molefe was defeated by Finlay Dyer of Australia. Ryan Kengwanyane.
Rogoeng was one of the 2 local players remaining in the junior championships heading into the 3rd round. However, the 14-year-old Molepule lad went into this game with his eyes full set on the quarterfinals, but faced a tough challenge from 17-year-old French player Robé. Robé used his powerful serves in the opening set to put local youngster under pressure to take it 6-love. In the second set, not much changed as Rogoeng continued to struggle against top seed, making numerous unforced errors. Robé went on and secured a comfortable win to move into the quarterfinals with another 6-love sets win.
It was a very tough game. I was playing a very experienced player, so it was very tough. I think I lost hope too quickly. Immediately when I got in the court, I was too scared because I was playing one of the experienced players.
The last remaining local player in the tournament, Simolefe, also had a tough day as he also went down in straight sets of 6-1 and 6-love against Finlay Dyer of Australia. In the girls' singles, Moran Jin of China defeated South African Jenna Theron 6-love and 6-3 to move into the last 8.
So I did well at the first set. Everything was good, but the second set I got more impatient and my opponent did better than the first set, so it was a little bit tough than the first set, but I still managed to do it well. I was being aggressive and I was anticipating my opponents, and also my serve did really well, so everything together and I won the match.
I think in the first set I was just very nervous and didn't have a lot of rhythm, but in the second set I started to attack more and I did a lot better in the second set. After the first set I just got very negative, but I still tried and fought my best.
In the other last 16 clash, Daniela Chapman knocked out Tia Mesil of USA 6-2 and 6-1. Alicia Taylor downed Azusa Farede of Spain 6-4 and 6-2, while Melina Sonepol lost to Selena Joseph of South Africa in straight sets. Ryan Kengwanyane, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And that's it from In Context Sports Update. Thank you for watching. Even though we lost, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. In Context continues on the other side.
re hetogela gore re boele ko morago go maruping re ipelege ha re ka se ke ra ipelega ra